Nicky Reyes. Raptors down 70-47. Here's Lillard. Step back three. He's feeling it, Jack. He's got 27.
No Giannis Antetokounmpo for the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Raptors were without OG Anunoby and Gary Trent Jr. for a second straight game, but still, Toronto thought they could maybe steal a game against the Bucks, and that was not the case at all. An ugly one for the Raptors as they lose 128-112 in a game that can be best described as their worst defensive performance of the season.
You're right. We did not have any pop to start the game. I don't know the reasons, but we just didn't bring it. A lot of times I felt that it was poor communication in the execution of the coverage. We allowed Damian Lillard to have amazing game, amazing first half. He just picked us apart, and we tried multiple coverages. It just did not work tonight for us.
The Raptors just had no answers for Damian Lillard, who scored 24 of his 37 points in the first half and added 8 assists through the first 2 quarters as well. The Raptors tried everything. They blitzed Lillard. They put Poeltl in a deeper drop. They put him near the level of the screen. They pre-switched actions, but none of it mattered. Lillard carved up a team that is missing its best defender in Anunoby, and Toronto was down 70-47 after 2 quarters.
He was getting downhill and getting to the free throw line a lot. There was, we didn't really do that much, if you ask me that. He was just being able to get downhill, getting layups, trying to take away his 3-pointers. I would try to make an adjustment, try to blitz him, try to get out of his hands, and he was just getting to the line, making reads, getting assists. He was just doing a lot out there today.
The Raptors dug themselves deep into a hole in this one. The defense against Lillard was so poor that they decided to start the second half with Precious Achiuwa in place of Jakob Poeltl. And while they did defend him a little bit better, their offense just wasn't enough. They only made 6 shots in the first 6 minutes of the third quarter, and that made that hole even more insurmountable. Outside of Scottie Barnes, who was assertive all night, the Raptors just couldn't make enough shots from behind the arc to put pressure on the Bucks defense.
I'm just trying to enjoy this process that we're going to, just learn and find each other out. Trying to come together as a group collectively and just trying to go out there each and every night, trying to win games. That's why I just really look forward to doing, trying to find ways each and every game to try to win.
Grady Dick got his first career start tonight, and I think the idea was for him to help with their spacing troubles, but the rookie just hasn't been able to knock down his shots at a consistent rate, finishing the game 2 of 10 from the field. Still, there were positives from Dick tonight, who got to the line 6 times and showed that he could do other things even when his shot isn't falling. And despite the Raptors being down 33 at one point, and despite nobody else being able to contribute offensively, the Raptors, thanks in large part to an elite game from Scottie, cut the lead down to 14. It still wasn't enough, and the Bucks were able to keep the Raptors at bay and hand them this loss, but Barnes finished with 29 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists on 19 shots, another impressive outing from the Raptors' third-year forward, who continues to make strides this season. Now, for the film room tonight, I want to tackle 2 things. The negative, what the Raptors didn't do on defense or couldn't do on defense to stop Damian Lillard, and also the positive side of things, some of the special things that Scottie Barnes did tonight in the second half. So let's get into it. Jakob Poeltl really struggled tonight guarding Damian Lillard. He was just too slow-footed for the faster, quicker guard. He was able to get downhill. Lillard was able to get downhill at will. It caused Jakob to get into foul trouble, and it caused Lillard to get to the free throw line very often in that first half. He was just dissecting the Raptors defense in the pick and roll, and it made for a lot of open shots for his teammates now too. You see on this possession, they tag the roller here, Dennis Schroeder does, and it ends up in an open shot for Pat Connaughton. Here, they decide to try to blitz Lillard. He just carves right through the double team and gets a wide open shot for Malik Beasley. Same thing here. I believe the Raptors try to hedge this screen. Boucher just does a pretty lazy hedge there, and Lillard gets a straight line drive. This time, another split to the double. Malik Beasley actually cooked the Raptors tonight with 8 made threes, and it was because Lillard was finding him open almost consistently. This caused the Raptors to start Precious Achiuwa in the second half. And ultimately, I think Achiuwa did a better job when it came to switching in those positions rather than them, playing in a drop or, playing at the level with Jakob. They were allowed to switch those things because they trust Precious to kind of switch out onto these perimeter defenders. And while there were still some possessions where, Dame just did Dame, it was a lot better in that scenario. And ultimately, it was a really, really tough night for Jakob Poeltl. And he even mentioned that he struggled tonight as well.
He's an incredible player. But I think we're a little bit slow to react. Me personally, I was slow to react to what he was trying to do out there. He was coming off pick and rolls and he was getting to the rim. He was getting fouled a lot. I feel like that's really how he caught his rhythm. And then towards the end of the first half, that's when he really started knocking down some crazy threes. But before that, he was really punishing us, getting by people, getting to the rim, getting layups. And I got to do a better job reacting to that and being able to read that and maybe cover some ground there.
But okay, enough for the negative. Let's get into how Scottie Barnes was absolutely special tonight. I thought this was maybe his best downhill game in terms of reading and reacting to the defense. He was elite at finding guys in the pick and roll. He had 7 assists tonight. 3 of those were to Jakob Poeltl, kind of rolling to the basket. He was great at attacking closeouts. Obviously, it helped because he made 3 of his threes tonight, so they were closing out on him a little bit harder than they might have usually done. But ultimately, I just really liked his poise in the pick and roll when it came to his decision making. And I just love that, if he sees a smaller defender on him, he's going to try to bully him. This time, he bullies Malik Beasley in the post. He misses the hook shot, but then, second jump, incredible. He gets the rebound and tips the shot in. Same here, a little bit of bully ball in the pick and roll. I just love the fact that he is combining, obviously, his ability to read the defense in pick and roll situations and his strength. Watch how he bumps MarJon Beauchamp, creates that massive amount of space, and then uses it to try to get the finger roll down, and then tries to get the tip shot. Again, he gets a foul here, so, job accomplished, but ultimately, I just love the fact that he's using strength as a way to kind of bully his way through these pick and rolls. Here's another nice pass to Jakob Poeltl. Jakob sent a very, very good screen here, and, he gets the easy bucket because of it as well. And this is sort of a combination of it all. Beauchamp, he's playing up against him, and Scottie gets into the paint, bullies over Bobby Portis, and finishes through contact. I think that's really impressive stuff. And ultimately, Scottie was probably the one shining light in this game for the Raptors. He was really, really good in this game. And I've mentioned this before in my recaps, but you're going to have a lot of these games where the Raptors lose, but Scottie looks special. And ultimately, that's a win long term for the Toronto Raptors. The fact that Scottie is making these strides this season, the fact that he's looking more confident offensively, whether it be as a shooter, a scorer, a creator, and obviously the defensive leap, which I talked about in a video earlier this week. But I ultimately just think, there are going to be moments where this Raptors team struggles because of the on-court context, because of the fact that it's a pretty wonky fit for a lot of the guys on this team. The personnel just doesn't make sense. But at the same time, you see Scottie thriving despite that context. And I think that's a really, really good sign for his future, because once you start adding things that eventually complement him, then you're looking at an even better player. I sort of brought up the De'Aaron Fox on Twitter the other day because, you look at De'Aaron Fox, his trajectory, what he's done over the last couple of seasons with the Kings, now that they finally built a proper team around him, and you sort of see the importance of on-court context. And ultimately, I think that's going to happen with Scottie eventually when the Raptors do decide to get players that can complement Scottie a little bit more, whether it be shooting, whether it be ball handling, whether it be a big man who can stretch the floor for you and protect the rim versus Jakob Poeltl, who can only do one of those things. So I ultimately think, the fact that Scottie is doing all of these things, the fact that he's absolutely, thriving in certain games and is finding different ways to impact the game, whether it be on the defensive end or figuring out things offensively in real time, that is really impressive given where the Raptors are at with their core. So, hey, you can take that to the bank every single day. The Raptors have their in-season tournament game, their very first in-season tournament game on Friday. It's going to be against the Boston Celtics, maybe a revenge game. Who knows? Maybe they get up for it since they got absolutely destroyed in Boston last Saturday. But we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tapping into another recap. And as always, if you are interested in listening to NBA content, if you've made it so far into this video, check out the Objective Basketball Podcast. It's where I talk about the NBA, not only the Raptors. So take care.